Hey everybody, I'm back with you on a gorgeous, almost fall evening here in the Bay Area. It's so pleasant. I decided to do this wine experience take outside, and today we're going to do something a little different. Today we're going to use one of our old favorites, a Chateauneuf du Pape. I think we've talked about this before. Chateauneuf du Pape is made in the what's called the Southern Rhone area of France, and it's primarily Grenache, but it can also have Syrah and a few other red grapes. And this one is a 2016 Domaine du Grand Tener, and I think I got it at Costco, reasonably priced. So this kind of uh, experience should be available to anyone. And the thing we like about Chateauneuf du Pape is it's full bodied, it has fruit, some acidity, it has its characteristic earthiness of that region. It's generally a very good uh, opportunity to have a I think what you could even say a very elegant wine experience, and it doesn't necessarily have to be super expensive, though often Chateauneufs can be expensive. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna taste this, enjoy it, but then what I'm gonna do is pair it with a couple of different things that should not pair well with it and tell you why it doesn't work. Now, we often hear about things pairing with wine, and I've talked about it as well. My general favorite with whites tends to be a goat cheese, a chèvre, uh, and with reds, yeah, it could be something a little more full bodied. In this case, what we're going to do is take a red wine and see how it goes with a really strong blue cheese. I have a blue cheese from California, a goat blue cheese. Some of you may know it, Humboldt Fog, which I love. But I normally wouldn't pair it with this. But we'll see. Maybe it goes well. And then the other one is I have a Spanish blue cheese that's super strong and is probably off-putting to many of you. It's not easily available, so I think we're just going to use it generically as a very strong blue cheese. This Spanish blue cheese happens to leave like a dry paste in your mouth, and you almost need something super creamy and full bodied to pair with it. I'm going to try something that's not that. That's the kind of cheese that might go well with a buttery California Chardonnay, which I tend not to drink very often. But let's see how it goes with something that wouldn't pair well normally. And then I also, just in case we want to give it a shot, I have a couple of different kinds of anchovies. One Spanish, one Italian anchovy, rather salty each one. See how it goes with this. This is not so strong wine. It is full bodied and everything, but it's not so strong that it's going to stand up to the boldest cheeses. And so that's why it should be a challenge. But we'll see. We will see. All right. So let's see how this Chateauneuf goes. It's 2016. That's very nice. Very good. Still has some of the tannins. It has its own little bit of pastiness. It probably should have been let to lie a little bit longer. Not bad at all, though. And this is where, again, something simple would probably take off that tannin edge just enough to enjoy the wine a little more. It has a lot of fruit, full bodied, not a ton of acidity, but pleasant. I would call this a medium to medium full bodied wine. Good, very good, especially for the price. As we said, it's maybe in the 30s. All right, so let's go with this really, as I said, can be off-putting Spanish blue cheese. See how it fares. So here's the Spanish blue cheese. Very strong, a lot of salt, and there's that. It's as if it has its own resins, its its own tannins. It leaves this very odd pastiness at the edges of your tongue. Okay, so as predicted, this is not a good pairing. I do not recommend this. So why don't we pair these two guys? First of all, the cheese was super powerful. It did cut out the tannins of the wine in my mouth, counteracted them, but left that void. It's like one of those nerve-numbing chilies that you sometimes get with certain Chinese food. This this completely eviscerated not only the tannins, but I didn't even taste fruit with the wine. Still want to be able to taste the fruit of the wine. So you would need something super bold to stand up to this, or super acidic to fight back at the cheese. There, just after that little pause, now I taste a little fruit this time. The the only thing I would say is that maybe that's not even a fair comparison because that cheese is so strong and rather unusual that maybe it's not pairing. It's a false negative, so to speak. So let's give the California Humboldt Fog goat blue cheese a chance. This is a little bit milder. It does not have that numbing characteristic. That's a very good cheese. I always love that cheese. It has some of the sourness of a chèvre, but it also um, has that extra blue cheese sourness that you would expect. This is not as strong as even a Danish blue. Certainly not as strong as a Stilton. Very good. Let's see how it goes with this. Again, not a good pairing. Do not pair this. You need something much milder on the cheese side. Uh, in this case, nothing at the sides of the tongue. That was not the issue. In this case, it's just that the wine cannot counter or even complement the cheese. The cheese is still too strong for the wine. You lose a lot of the fruit of the wine. A lot of the enjoyment of the wine is lost with that particular pairing. Yeah, I'm taking this hit for you. All right, so let's go with a milder cheese. This is simple plain chèvre. There we go. So there, what we're getting is knocking off the tannins without overpowering the fruit. This wine was good on its own. It had those extra tannins. Maybe you don't want the tannins, so you pair it with some bread or mild cheese, and then you can make a great combo. Finally, let's try one of these really salty anchovies. Now, with the salty anchovies, think Sicily or something. You're going to want one of their dry, full-bodied white wines from Sicily. So normally I would only pair that with a white wine, um, full-bodied but dry white wine. Let's see how it goes with this Southern French wine. Not as problematic as either of the blue cheeses. Not as good as the simple chèvre. In this case, the salt alone doesn't counteract tons of stuff, but there's nothing pleasing about the combination. Having that salty residue in your mouth with the wine is not a pleasant thing. So this really calls for something a little more neutral that can sort of absorb the tannins but leave the wine intact. Well, there you have it. What not to pair and why not to do it. I think that's the point. Is that when you have your experiences, again, you'll hear a lot about these. This pairing goes well. This pairing goes well. But I wanted to just explore briefly the alternative scenario. Why wouldn't something pair well? And we heard a couple of different opportunities for not pairing well. All right, everybody, great to chat with you, to share this experience with you. And I will see you next time on our wine experience trail.